Saint Kitts and Nevis is a dual-island country in the Caribbean located between the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Sea. The country has been described as the region's best-kept secret, and it sure does live up to this expectation. Here are the top things to do in Saint Kitts and Nevis. Number 9. Go hiking at the Central Forest Reserve National Park. Hiking is almost a must-do activity in Saint Kitts and Nevis, and you will do well to come along with your hiking boots. There are many trails to explore in these parts, but not many can compare to the sublime trails at the Central Forest Reserve National Park. This national park is famous for its verdant mountain chain and the rainforest that covers the surface. The area was declared a national reserve to protect the highlands and rare American oceanic rainforest it houses. It also features a wide range of flora and fauna, making the hike through the forest a lot more exciting. Of course, there are multiple trails to hike here in the forest, each posing a different difficulty level. Also, solo hiking is rare here as the paths are somewhat tricky to navigate, so you may want to join a hiking party for a safer and more enjoyable trekking expedition. Number 8. Ride on the Sugar Train. Another exciting activity to include in your bucket list in Saint Kitts is a ride on the Sugar Train. This scenic railway is a famous rail track in the country, and it is also up there among the best in the region. The rail track was built in 1912 to deliver sugarcane from the plantations to more centralized sugar mills. However, the 18-mile-long rail train was turned into a means of transport and a tourist attraction after the remaining mills were closed down early in the 21st century. Today, the rail line has become a beacon to tourists looking to enjoy the stunning train journey through the Kittitian countryside. The train ride also gives you a unique view of the forest and blue seas as it speeds across the island. Tickets are sold at the train station and drinks are included in the price. So do not hesitate to get a free punch top-up while on board. Number 7. Explore the islands on a boat. They say seeing is believing, and you would not believe just how much beauty these islands hold until you take a tour and see for yourself. Well, another way to get a spectacular view of the islands is on a boat, and this experience should certainly make your list of things to do in Saint Kitts. Not only do you get to see the islands in their majesty, but you also get to spend time on the sea. The cruise will show you a side of the island that you have not seen before, and there's no doubt that you'll find it fascinating. Number 6. Visit Brimstone Hill Fortress. The next stop here is the Brimstone Hill Fortress, which is a well-preserved fortress on the hill on the Kitts Island. The fortress was built by the British in the 17th century, and it is one of many in the Caribbean. However, the Brimstone Fortress was one of the most fortified and is also famous for its unique military architecture. The fortress has since been adopted as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is protected by the national park built around it. Located in sandy port town on the southwestern part of the island, this fortress is now a major tourist attraction here. Thousands of visitors troop in here annually to explore the famous fortress and learn about its war history in the Fort George Museum. To access this excellently preserved fortress, you will need to climb a steep part with a series of steps. However, you will definitely find your experience here to be worth the hassle. Number 5. Explore the island's rich history. You must have heard that Saint Kitts and Nevis has a rich history. Well, this is true, and the Museum of Nevis History is where you'll learn all about this rich history. The museum is a relatively small Gregorian-styled building in Charleston, but it contains an astonishingly wide range of objects and artifacts that depicts the island's rich history. Surely, you'll find your tour of the museum to be exciting, but most especially, it would be a necessary eye-opener to make the rest of your tour more meaningful. The museum is part of the famous Hilton House that was rebuilt in 1983 after an earthquake destroyed the older building. This building is one of the most popular in the country, and it also contains the Nevis House of Assembly meeting room. So you might just be hitting two birds with a stone by visiting the museum. By the way, if you want to learn how to save money on airfares, then click the link in the description below. This guide will teach you how to always get the cheapest flight. Number 4. Enjoy a top view of the island on a zip line. And now for an adrenaline-pumping activity. You may want to buckle up and head over to the Sky Safari Recreational Center to ride a zip line. If you don't know, a zip line is a cable that is stretched between 2 points with a pulley attached to it. If you have ridden a zip line before, you already know that the experience is both wild, exciting, and one to look forward to. It will also interest you to know that Saint Kitts has some of the most extended zip lines in the Caribbean. So brace yourself for the wildest zip ride of your life. Of course, Sky Safari Recreational Center is known for many things. but it is most famous for its incredible zip lines that stretch above the rainforest. If you are new to this experience, there are shorter lines for amateurs to train with before joining the pros on the main line. Surely, this activity is not for the faint-hearted, and it will definitely test your courage. However, it is one of the most exciting things to do out here, and it has what it takes to be the highlight of your trip. Number 3. See beautiful flowers at Nevis Botanical Gardens. There's a reason why Saint Kitts and Nevis ranks high among the best tourist destinations in the Caribbean, and it's because it has something for everybody. If you are a fan of natural vegetation and the beautiful flora that comes with it, then you are also in for a treat here on the islands. There's a whole lot of green plant life to be seen here, and you may want to head up to Nevis Botanical Gardens, where you'll get your mind blown. The garden is located below the dominant figure of Mount Nevis, just a few miles from Charleston and its luxurious resorts. Here, you'll find a 5-acre land area of green, lush, tropical paradise. It contains a wide variety of tropical plants from around the world, and if you are attentive enough, you can spot some rare species like Royal Poinciana, which is the national flower of Saint Kitts. The garden also features cool dolphin fountains and a pool where you can find water lilies. Number 2. Trek to the top of Mount Liamuiga. As stated earlier, there are more than enough incredible hiking trails to keep you occupied and physically active throughout your stay here. However, it will be a mistake not to trek the trail that leads to the top of Mount Liamuiga. Mount Liamuiga is a stratovolcano in the western part of the island, and it is famous for many reasons. Firstly, at a whooping height of almost 4,000 feet, it is unarguably the highest peak in the country. Secondly, it features one of the island's most popular and challenging trails. But even after that, the trail is worth trekking, and it is appreciated by pros who often make their way here from all over the world. Of course, this hike would definitely test your endurance, but then the view from the summit is something you don't want to miss, and it's enough motivation to get in your hiking boots and hit the trails. You also don't have to worry about an eruption, as the volcano has been idle for over 1,500 years and is not expected to become active anytime soon. Number 1. Relax at Uali Beach Resort. Well, it certainly isn't a trip to the Caribbean if there's no beach experience, and of course, you can count on Caribbean countries to have the most ideal beaches. Surely Saint Kitts and Nevis is no different. There are several fantastic beaches scattered across this island, but the Uali Beach is often the pick of the bunch. This sandy beach is surrounded by tall trees, and it stretches along Uali Bay. As if that's not enough, it's still surrounded by an exotic resort, making it even more incredible. Well, talk about an excellent beach setting, and this beach is your perfect example. You can come down here to enjoy a relaxing afternoon sunbathing on the beach. But don't count on the beach being quiet, because more and more tourists are identifying this resort as their favorite tourist attraction daily. However, it all adds to the fun and excitement to be enjoyed here. You can also get in the water to enjoy any of your favorite water activities, and no doubt this will be an experience to remember for years. Click here for more places to visit in the Caribbean.